Disappointing game, obviously. Just spoke to our team. We've got a group of players that their heads are down. They're pretty frustrated in terms of how the game went this evening. I guess I'm not allowed to speak about the referee, so I probably shouldn't speak about the ref. But we speak to our players about moments define matches and focus on what you can control. And that's a huge part of this game. There are certain things you cannot control. And when you encounter those, then you have to deal with those moments of adversity. But a very, very frustrating game tonight for us and for Orlando. You could see both benches were very, very frustrated as to how the game unfolded. But fair play to Orlando. They're a very good team. They obviously loaded their team up with a lot of MLS players. I believe they started 11, not 11. I think 7 out of the 11 players were MLS contracted players. So they obviously wanted to put their best foot out, and so did we. I think they were the better team in the first 45 minutes. I think we were the better team in the second 45 minutes.
It seemed like there were a couple different things that one could construe as frustrating about this match. Was there any one thing in particular?
Oh, well, the fact we lost, obviously. We wanted to play and we wanted to go out there and put our best foot forward and try to set ourselves up for success. I haven't seen any of the replays yet, so I can't speak about them, but curious to see Jimmy's goal that he scored in the first 5 or 10 minutes. If that was offside, I don't know. There were a lot of little moments in terms of professional fouls in the game that were made and either weren't dealt with or weren't dealt with appropriately either. So those are the frustrating moments. If we analyze ourselves and we do that first, I think in the first 45 minutes, we struggled to problem solve their movement a little bit in the first 45 minutes. I think at halftime we spoke to the guys about a couple things, and fair play to our players. I thought in the second 45 minutes they problem solved fantastically. And we tried to go at them, and we were the team that was pushing for it. Obviously we're playing at home in front of our fans, and we want to give ourselves the best chance possible to get those 3 points, and we went for it. And when you do that, you obviously expose yourselves a little bit at the back.
Was Orlando playing more compact than you expected, and was it harder to break them down maybe than you expected coming in?
No, we know they're a good team. Obviously they are where they are with us. They're just above us now, obviously, in the league at this early stage. We knew they'd be tough to break down, but I'm sure they knew we'd be tough to break down too. It was difficult for them to break us down. It was difficult for us to break them down too. It was two good teams trying to play against each other and trying to play the game the way the game should be played.
You mentioned the problem solving. How difficult is it to have 9 different lineups through 9 matches and still not have the right results that you'd like to see every time?
Well, obviously as a coach, and I think for our players, they'd all like to have the same 11 every game. We really haven't been in that type of position. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had suspensions, of course. We've had the transition we've gone through. And we really still are in a construction phase in terms of building our group, making sure we have the right culture, and putting the players together and to set them up for success. So I think it's understandable in terms of where we are and why we've had to play so many different lineups. We're not trying to make many changes, but sometimes the changes are forced upon you. Obviously injuries are outside of our control for the most part. Suspensions have hit us too. And we've got a lot of players that are stepping up to the plate, and some players are taking time to adjust. This league now is completely different this year than it was last year. I know it's classified as the second division, but what it's done for the level of play in this Eastern Conference is amazing. It's fantastic for the game in the U.S. Every team we play against is significantly improved, and we're improving too. I feel like we're getting better every week. The big bonus for our group is the sky's the absolute limit. I would say if I looked at the Eastern Conference, we're the team that's not quite where they need to be just yet. And thankfully for us, we've only played 9 games. There's 32 games to play in a season. So we're heading in the right direction. We have to be patient. We have to stay positive. We hope everybody else does too, of course. And we're very logical and rational about how we process things. We reviewed the game tonight. There were things that weren't good, but there were a lot of positives too. I think at the end you could see the character of this group. The guys weren't going to lie down. They went a goal down and they wanted to push and see what they could get out of the game. Even when we went 2-0 down, the guys kept on pushing. And that speaks volumes for the individual players, but also how the group is coming together.
You mentioned last week, Alan, that you'd probably like to rotate the squad a bit for the upcoming Cup match, but in light of today's result, could the Cup match actually be coming at a fortuitous time?
Well, the Cup game's an exciting game. It's obviously a whole different competition. In terms of who we play, we'll figure that out. We've obviously got a lot of players that just went out and played a very, very tough, physical 90-minute game. So we'll have to assess the players and kind of see where they're at. But we've also got other players that we haven't given as much an opportunity to them as they'd like. And we have to be fair to them. They're working their backsides off in training every single day too. So we'll figure it out. Are we going to rotate completely? Will we got the same group? Is it going to be a bit of a hybrid? We'll make that decision probably on Monday when we see the status and the health of the players.
How would you evaluate the performance of Danny in his first match off the short week?
Yeah, tough, obviously. I think any player that's come in and is just trained with the team for 2 days and then is asked to go lead a line is very difficult. But he's a quality player. He's a professional. I think he got a little fatigued as the game went along. But as we were thinking of trying to make a change, we went a goal down. And he's the type of player that even if he's not having the greatest influence on things, you give him one opportunity, he's probably going to take it. So difficult game for him, difficult game for the group. But the positive for us now is he's got 90 minutes in terms of playing with everybody. I'm sure he has a better understanding of the players' tendencies right now too, and he's given himself something positive to build on. We can reflect on it with him to make sure the next performance is better for him and for the entire group too.
Ignoring the actual fouls and what you think or may not have been a yellow, have you ever been in a game where you've seen 9 yellows?
Well, you know what's funny is yellows that are handed out inconsistently. That's the problem. Is when somebody does things as an official and it's consistent. I think coaches can kind of understand it and you kind of go with it. You may not agree with it, but when certain things were happening in the game and sometimes it was a foul, sometimes it wasn't, sometimes it was a yellow card, sometimes it was just keep on going, you could tell that really irked our players. It irks the crap out of me, to be honest. We preach to our players consistency. We want them to go out and take care of the details. I, as a coach, have to go out and take care of the details. I think we expect the same from officials too. And that's just the nature of the game. We all have to manage the moments that we have an influence on. Good. Thank you.
Austin, what are your takeaways from the result?
You didn't bring me any Gomez, dude?
I'm sorry?
You didn't bring me any Gomez? I thought that was we were going to make that
I
standard.
didn't know you would take Mexican so soon after a match.
Yeah, we're going to have a talk after, right back. I mean, Coach hit on it plenty. It's just frustrating. You know, we were fortunate to play in front of fan support like that, and we can't come away with a goal. Give them something to cheer for, so it's frustrating. So just go back to the drawing board. We got a Cup game Wednesday and a bunch of home games coming up.
Are you going to prepare any differently if you have to go this Wednesday in the Open Cup match?
No, I mean, as far as preparation, it's kind of the same, but, you know, maybe the next few days it'll be less on the field stuff and more time in the training room or in the gym. So we'll see how that shapes up on Monday.
I know you didn't get booked today, but how difficult is it as the captain to watch all of that and try to keep everybody level-headed?
I mean, it's frustrating. The biggest thing that's frustration for me being the captain is the I'm going to try not to get fined, but the continuous kind of disrespect to me as a captain of not speaking to me and them yelling at my players before coming to me. If a guy's yelling at the referee a bunch of times, come to me, say something, I say something to him, and then if he keeps doing it, then that's on me. But if you blow up on my player before talking to me, then you know, that's kind of disrespectful. That's why we have captains. You know, that's why there's that in the game. So that's what's frustrating.
As a leader in the team and you take the temperature of the squad after a match like this, what's your evaluation of that?
I mean, it's just, for me, it's just trying to stay positive, you know, just staying part of the process. You know, we're still, how does Alan say it, in the construction phase, still trying to figure things out. You know, we just added a new guy 4 days ago who just played a bunch of minutes for us. So, you know, we're still figuring stuff out. It's a long season. We got a bunch of home games ahead, and a lot of us have been playing long enough that we know that all you need is a couple bounces to go your way, you get a couple wins, and then then you're on a roll, and then momentum's on your side. So it's just kind of working through the hard parts and waiting for the catch the next ride for the high points of the season.
Is the Cup match coming at a good time, just in the sense that it's a blank slate? What's happening in the league right now is irrelevant. Is that happening at a good time for you guys?
Yeah. Like Alan touched on, it's good for a lot of the guys that the fans aren't seeing, that are working their butts off behind the scenes and training every day, pushing us in the starting 11. So it'll be a good chance for a good number of those guys to see some minutes and show what they can do and the hard work that they've put in.
Thank you.
Yep.
How did you experience the result tonight?
Disappointed, yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how much me personally and the group hates losing. And even worse, for it to happen in front of our fans, feels like we right now it feels like we let them down tonight, and it's hard not to say that, but at the same time, we've got so many games left in the season, and to get too bogged down on one game right now is probably the last thing we want to do. So we're going to be extremely disappointed in the short term and get back to the drawing board, like Austin said, and have a look at some things. But it's time for this group to start getting results, because we have too many good players not to be.
Was the performance, setting aside, you can't separate referees' decisions from the match, but in sum, was the performance worthy of a result tonight?
That's tough to say, I think. I think, if I'm being honest, we were probably on the back foot for a lot of the first half, and the resilience in the group obviously shows every now and then, and we get chances. There's guys that are going to battle for 90 minutes. Jimmy's, I mean, if you look at how hard that guy worked this game, it's ridiculous. Quinny covering ground, Corbin covering ground. Those guys just don't stop working. So I think there's positives that we'll take from the game. But, yeah, I think, it's honestly, it went back and forth a little bit. We give up a goal on a penalty, and then it shifts a little bit. So I think it was back and forth. It's unfortunate we don't get a result. Then we go for it a little bit towards the end and give up another one. So that's going to happen. But that's part of the group. We want to win, and we're going to go for it. And if it doesn't work out, then what happens tonight happens. So it's part of pushing.
When the match ended, you walked directly to the locker room. Would you say this is the most frustrated you've been following the result here at Nipper?
Yeah, I just hate losing so much. So it's, I mean, yeah, I was frustrated, and I will be for a while. I think the whole group is, we want to win, and we've got big aspirations for the year. So when things don't go our way, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're definitely frustrated.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.